Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama
Shri Radha Madhav Ki Jai, Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tatho Jayamudhirayat Nastabraisha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayati Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Guru Dintarinam Pramanandam Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Hari Om Tat Sat. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 7, Text 26.
Read first the transcendental diary.
Oh, yes, sorry. Yes. Reading from the Transcendental Diary first by Hari Sauri Prabhu. Okay. It's Sri Vrindavan Dham. Satadhyana Swami sent a report from Mayapur. His first communication with Srila Prabhupada since he took sannyas at the Gaur Purnima festival. He has been out preaching on the boat, going village to village, selling guitar ganas with 9 Gurukul boys. More recently, he and Gargamuni Swami have been collecting for Mayapur in Calcutta. Now his visa has run out and he has to leave the country and re-enter again. He asked whether he should leave and return right away so that either he or Jayapataka Maharaj can remain in Mayapur while the other goes out to preach in Bengal, and whether he should go with Gargamuni Swami to the Middle East to collect funds for Mayapur. He also gave a brief but encouraging report on Mayapur development. He said that the work on the new long building is progressing well, with the ground floor completed and the upper floor under construction. Contracts for plumbing and sanitary works will be signed soon. They have planted many flowers on the grounds and they have made a lawn with park benches on the northern side of the temple. He said that because of the recent publicity, We are being flooded with people coming to see the temple and Sri Radha Madhav. He ended his letter with an invitation to visit and nice prayer. Srila Prabhupada, we owe you everything, even for our very air of life. Upon you personally we depend. Without you there can be no Krishna consciousness, and without Krishna consciousness life is surely wasted and meaningless. All glories to you, Srila Prabhupada. You are Krishna's mercy jewel, Krishna's mercy incarnation, and you are always beyond our limit and conditioned understanding. So Srila Prabhupada here is in Vrindavan, and he is getting report of Mayapur. So devotees, wherever they would go, they would send reports to Prabhupada about how they were doing. And these reports would give him pleasure. It is said when he was in Vrindavan in 1977, he didn't have much energy. He was almost leaving his body, but hearing the book distribution scores, he would say that would give him life. So devotees in the West, they would be distributing so much books. So Srila Prabhupada would get these reports and he would be very encouraged. That's what he would say, that these reports are giving me life. So once Giriraj Swami, he went to Prabhupada and he said, Srila Prabhupada, I think two things are very important to you. One is building the temple in Mayapur, the other is distributing books. And Prabhupada said, yes, you are correct. These two are one of the most important things, my most important projects. So Mayapur, when we can see Mayapur in videos, if we have not been there, it was empty land, nothing. It was just a village. So Srila Prabhupada, he desired, and actually it was desire of the previous acharyas also, because when Nityananda Prabhu was taking Jiva Goswami, I think it was Jiva Goswami, around Mayapur, he actually showed that there will be a big temple here. Nityananda Prabhu predicted that, and from this temple the love of Godhead will flood throughout the whole world, he said. And all the previous acharyas and even Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he was residing on the other side of the Jalangi river. So from his house, he would be able to see a bright light from that area, and he actually had a vision that a very big temple would manifest in that area where the temple is right now. So all the previous acharyas, they contributed quite a lot to the development of Mayapur. And even during the time of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, they did not know where exactly the birthplace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was. They were actually saying the other place. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he actually found out this is not the right place. And then he went to the birthplace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and there only Tulsi was growing, nothing else. And the people there were complaining, this place is so not fertile, whatever we try to grow here, nothing grows except Tulsi. So, and then he brought his spiritual master, Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, and immediately upon arriving, Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj was very old, and he even could not open his eyes because his eyes were shut like this, He was so old, and he would be carried on a bucket like a palanquin by his disciples. But immediately when he arrived on the spot of birth of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he felt the ecstasy, and he jumped out and started dancing. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur could confirm, okay, this is the birthplace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So all the acharyas, they very much wanted Mayapur to develop. So seeing the encouraging reports of Mayapur, Srila Prabhupada here is also very happy that Mayapur is developing. Yeah. So Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 7, text, is it 26?
Yes, 26, yes.
Text 26. Shri Sukha Uvacha. 26. 6, 7, 26. 11. Okay. Is it 7 or 11? 11. Okay. There is another point. 6, 11, 26. Ajata Paksha Iva Mataram Khagaha Stanyam Yatha Vatsataraha Kshud Artaha Priyam Priyeva Vyusitam Visanna Manoravindaksha Didrikshate Tvam Ajata Paksha Iva Mataram Khagaha Stanyam Yatha Vatsataraha Shudartaha Priyam Priyeva Vyusitam Vishanna Manor Ravindaksha Didrikshate Tvam Ajata Paksha Iva Mataram Khagaha Stanyam Yatha Vatsatara Kshudartaha Priyam Priyeva Vyushitam Vishanna Manoravindaksha Didrika Kshatetvam
Ajata Paksha Iva Mataram Khagaha Stanyam Yata Vatsatara Kshuda Artaha Priyam Priyeva Vyusitam Visana Manoravindaksha Didrikshate Tvam
Ajata Paksha Iva Matam Khagaha
Ajata Paksha Iva Mataram
Stanyam Yata Vatsatara Ksudata
Stanyam Yata Vatsatara Kshudarta
Priyam Priyeva Vyusitam Vishana
Priyam Priyeva Vyusitam Visana
Manoravindaksha Didikshate Tvam
Manoravindaksha Didrikshate Tvam
Ajata Paksha Iva Mataram Khagaha Sanyam yatha vatsatara artaha Viyam priyeva yusitam visanna Manoravinda lakshadvikshate tvam
Ayata paksha iva matanam kaga.
Jata pakshaiva mataram kagaha
Estanjam jata vatsalaha shuataha.
Sanyam yata vatsatara artaha
Priyam priyeva visutam visana.
Priyam priyeva vishitam vishanna
Manoravindaksha vidrikshate tvam.
Manoravindaksha vidrikshate tvam. Word for word. Ajata pakshaha, who have not yet grown wings. Eva, like. Mataram, the mother. Khagaha, small birds. Stanyam, the milk from the udar. Yatha, just as. Vatsaraha, Vatsataraha, the young calves. Shuddharthaha, distressed by hunger. Priyam, the beloved or husband. Priya, the wife or lover. Eva, like. Vyusitam, who is away from home. Visana, morose. Manaha, my mind. Aravindaksha, O lotus-eyed one. Didrikshate, wants to see. Tvam, you. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Swami Prabhupada. O lotus-eyed Lord, as baby birds that have not yet developed their wings always look for their mother to return and feed them, as small calves tied with ropes await anxiously the time of milking, when they will be allowed to drink the milk of their mothers, or as a morose wife whose husband is away from home always longs for him to return and satisfy her in all respects. I always yearn for the opportunity to render direct service unto you. Purport. A pure devotee always yearns to associate personally with the Lord and render service unto Him. The examples given in this regard are most appropriate. A small baby bird is practically never satisfied except when the mother bird comes to feed it. A small calf is not satisfied unless allowed to suck the milk from the mother's udder. And a chaste devoted wife whose husband is away from home is never satisfied until she has the association of a beloved husband. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshuran Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayham Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavascha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhantam Sta Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuga Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, it is almost the end of this chapter by Vritrasura. Vritrasura is a demon from the outside, but a devotee, a pure devotee. In his previous life, he is Chitraketu, and he gets cursed. So here and at the end, he is just praying from his heart. So Srimad Bhagavatam is full of so many prayers by pure devotees, and sometimes we go in front of the deities and we don't know what to say. We don't know what to think of. So prayers like these are helpful. If we can learn one or two, then we go in front of the deities and we just repeat with the same mood, and that's how we learn how to pray. So here Vritrasura is praying, "O Lotus-eyed Lord, I yearn for the opportunity to render direct service unto you." And he gives so nice examples. As baby birds that have not yet developed wings look for their mother to return and feed them. So we can imagine a baby bird, small, cute little birds. Maybe we have seen them around. They can't fly away from the nest. And then they're waiting for their mother to come back, right? And then feed them. And the calves, small calves, tied with ropes, they are also waiting when they will be allowed to drink the milk of their mothers. And the Moro's wife, whose husband is away from home, always longs to return and satisfy her in all respects. So 3 examples of one of the cow, one of the bird, and one of a Moro's wife who is waiting for her husband. So it's nice that it's something we can relate to. How do we yearn for the service of the Lord? In Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is a pastime of King Prataparudra. So King Prataparudra, he is the king in Orissa, but and he really wants to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, just to set an example that devotees should be careful not to associate with worldly minded people, or so to say. Just to give an example, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, "I will not see him." And Prataparudra Maharaj is so, he's yearning to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he says at the end, he tells devotees like Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and others, he says, "I really want to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu." But still Chaitanya Mahaprabhu does not agree. And Prataparudra Maharaj, he says, I will give up everything. If Chaitanya Mahaprabhu does not want to see me, I will give up all my position and I'll become a beggar. I'll become a yogi. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, from inside he is very pleased, but outside again he says some harsh words. So this is a very sweet pastime between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and a pure devotee, Prataparudra Maharaj. So a devotee, like Prabhupada says in the purport, yearns to associate personally with the Lord and render service unto Him. So there is also a famous pastime when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is very tired after so many hours of dancing, all his body is aching. So his body is aching, and there is his servant, his name is Govinda. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after being so tired, he goes to his room and he lies down just on the doorway, and then he takes rest. And Govinda, he comes and he wants to massage Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is lying on the way. How can he go? But he goes. He actually, later on it's described, but he goes over. He starts massaging Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then he just sits there. He doesn't go and take prasadam. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he wakes up and he sees Govinda and he says, "Why have you not gone to take prasadam?" And Govinda says, "How can I go over you? How can I go over you to take prasadam?" And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "But how did you come in? You go the same way how you came in." And Govinda says, "When I was coming in, my motive was to serve you. So I stepped over you. Even though I committed an offense, I am ready to go to hell for your service. But while going out, it's not for my service, it's for myself. It's not for your service, it's for myself. So I'm not going. So that's why I'm staying." So such a nice mood. He shows that a devotee, a pure devotee, wants to render service to Krishna in this way. So there are many examples like this. Devotee always wants to associate personally with the Lord and render service to Him. So the examples in this regard are appropriate. Prabhupada says, "A small baby bird is practically never satisfied except when the mother bird comes to feed it." Yeah, Srila Prabhupada, he once said, someone asked, how should we pray when we are chanting Hare Krishna? And he said, just as a child cries to see his or her mother, when a child is very upset and the child cries and makes a loud sound, then the mother leaves everything and comes to the child. But if the child is just crying small, the mother knows the intensity, So Prabhupada says, just as a child is crying for the mother, that's how a devotee cries out to Krishna for when they are chanting. Yeah, this is the mood he gave. So this is a small purport, and I will just read the other sloka also, and then this chapter is finished. Text 27. Mamottam maslokam janesu sakhyam samsara chakre brahmata swa karmabhi tvan mayayat mat maja dara Keshav ashakta chittasya natha bhuyat. Translation. O my Lord, my Master, I am wandering throughout this material world as a result of my fruitive activities. Therefore, I simply seek friendship in association of your pious and enlightened devotees. My attachment to my body, wife and children and home is continuing by the spell of your eternal energy, but I wish to be attached to them no longer. Let my mind, my consciousness and everything I have be attached only to you. So this is the last verse. And he says, I'm wandering throughout the material world. Right? So he actually was wandering. He was born as Chitraketu, and then he comes down as when he is cursed. So in the same way, we are also wandering, like we were discussing yesterday. A living entity is wandering from taking different body from Brahmanda Brahmitikona Bhagyavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Veer. So from sometimes takes the body of Brahma, sometimes takes the body of a cat, sometimes a dog, sometimes a human being. So it's a cycle. In Buddhism they have this cycle they call, what's this called? Samsara, yeah, I think they also call it samsara. So we sing, the first thing we sing in the morning is Samsara Davana Lalidha Loka, right? So samsara is actually this cycle. So this cycle of birth, death, old age, disease. So we are all wandering in this material world of our different kind of desires. So desire is what? Because of our desire, we are wandering. One Srila Prabhupada, he was coming back from a morning walk, and one devotee asked him, how can I become Krishna conscious? He didn't answer throughout the whole journey, and at the end when he was coming out from the car, he said, just desire. And Shrutakirti Prabhu, who says this story, he says, this is all we have actually. The only thing we can do is desire. That is the only free will or independence we have as marginal energies. We are called Antaranga Shakti, right? Means Krishna has different energies. He has his internal energy, that is the spiritual world and everyone in the spiritual world. He has his Bahiranga Shakti, which is the material world, and it's called Tathastha Shakti, means in the middle. So the living entities are in the middle, marginal. So it's just like if we, I don't know if you have gone on a beach. So in the beach there is land this side and water this side. And if you walk on the border, sometimes it's land, sometimes it's water, right? So the living entity is like this. Sometimes according to its desire, it can be under the shelter of the spiritual nature, under the shelter of the material nature. It can choose. So it's like walking on a fence. So suppose someone is walking on a fence, on a wall, and left side is the material world, right side is the spiritual world. The edge, yeah, the edge of the fence. And wherever it leans, it goes that way. So whichever side we lean towards, we go to that nature. So as living entities, we have this choice to choose what we want to take shelter of. Do we want to take shelter of Maya, illusion, or do we want to take shelter of the spiritual nature? So that free will is there in the living entity. So that free will, because of that free will, when we misuse that free will, we are wandering in the material world. So all our desires. So our original desire is that we wanted to become. So our original desire is that we wanted to become we wanted to become God. That's our original. Prabhupada says, we were envious of Krishna. You know, Krishna is enjoying, Krishna is has all the girlfriends, Krishna has everything. So then a living entity desires and says, I also want to enjoy. But it's not possible in the spiritual world, because only Krishna is the ultimate enjoyer. So that is why there is an illusion, and then the material world is there, and that's where the living entity gets to fulfill this small free will desire of becoming God. But it's never satisfied, because that is not the constitutional position, right? So and because of this desire he wanders, and by good fortune, Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij, by some good fortune the living entity gets a seed of devotional service. And so here Vritasura is praying that I've been wandering throughout the material world. Now I simply seek friendship in the association of pure pious and enlightened devotees. So it's very nice. A devotee is praying for devotional service and is also praying for friendship with devotees. That is very nice. In the Nectar of Instruction, the different levels of devotees are described. Kanishta, Madhyama and Uttamadhikari. And a characteristic of a neophyte devotee is they're worshipping the deities, but they're not able to have a relationship with devotees. So Srila Prabhupada, he says, at least come to the level of Madhyamadhikari. A Madhyamadhikari can make distinction between a higher, someone who is a pure devotee, he gives respect, and if someone is equal, friendship. If someone is less fortunate, there is some compassion. For the innocents, there is compassion. So this is Madhyamadhikari. So devotees, they seek association of devotees, friendship. And this is important for us also, because we are practicing this. We are not Uttamadhikaris who can just practice by ourselves or live somewhere. So we need the association of devotees, and that is significant that Vritasura is actually praying for association of friendship in the association of pious and enlightened devotees. So Srila Prabhupada, he in the purpose of ISKCON, I think one of the purpose, I don't remember exactly, but it's the purpose is to facilitate people who want to live in the association of devotees. So imagine you read the books and then you want to practice. Imagine there are no devotees around. It would be so difficult, right? Okay, I read the book, I'm convinced I have to chant Hare Krishna, I'm convinced I have to worship, I'm convinced I have to take only prasadam, but I look around and there are no devotees around me. It would be so difficult, right? So that is the purpose of centers and temples, to provide association to devotees and people in general, to have association of devotees. And he prays again, my attachment to my body, wife, children and home is continuing my spell for your external energy, but I wish to be attached to them no longer. So in the song by Govinda Das, he says, just worship God. Having obtained this rare human birth, it is quite similar. Cross over this ocean of material existence through the association of saintly persons. And he says, both in the day and at night I remain sleepless, suffering the pains of heat and cold, the wind and the rain. For a fraction of flickering happiness, I have uselessly served wicked and miserly men. What assurance of real happiness is there in all of one's wealth, youthfulness, sons and family members? This life is tottering like a drop of water on a lotus petal. Therefore you should always serve and worship the divine feet of Lord Hari. So Bhaja Hure Mana, that's the song. It's very nice. So Kamala Tala Jala Jivana Chatala Mala Bhajahu Hari Pada Nitire. What was the exact? Durlava Manava Janama Sat Sange Taraho Ei Bhava Sindire Sita Atapa Bhatavarishana Edinya Jamani Jagire Vipali Sevina Kripana Durejana Chapala Sukalava Lagire Edhana Yovana Putra Parijana Etiki Achepada Titire. So he prays that Edhana Yovana, this wealth, Yovana is youthfulness, Putra Parijana, and children and all the family members. So what Govinda Dasi prays, what assurance of happiness is there in all of one's wealth, youthfulness, sons and family members? So there is no assurance of happiness in these things. So a devotee knows this. Although they are doing the duties of having a family and working, a devotee knows that there is no assurance. Assurance means there is no guarantee of happiness in the material world. So an intelligent person, they pray that they have no attachment for these things. So Chanakya Pandit, he says there are two things, so there is the temporary thing and there is the permanent thing. So an intelligent person, he should not give up what is permanent for what is temporary. So we know this Krishna consciousness is the permanent thing. So we should not give up Krishna consciousness for something that is temporary. Because if you do so, you will lose both. You lose what is temporary also, because temporary will go away anyway. And you will also lose what is permanent, because you did not invest your time in cultivating what was permanent. So, a devotee is striving to get to this permanent position of Krishna consciousness. And at the end he says, let my mind, my consciousness and everything I have be attached only to you. So these are very high, very nice prayers by pure devotees, by Vritasura. And it helps us how can we pray to Krishna. When we are chanting, when we're in front of the deities, it's just a nice prayer to just meditate on. That let my mind, my consciousness and everything I have be attached only to you. There is a very nice Vaishnava song, Mama Mana Mandire Rahanishi Di Krishna Murari Bhakti Priti Mala Chandan. So he is offering everything that he has. Tumi niyo he niyo chitanan Jivana Marana Tava Puja Niveda. Meaning, in life or death, I am worshipping you. I am offering everything to you. So it's nice to offer energy, your time, but one of the most difficult things to offer is your mind, right? It's one of the most difficult things because the mind is chanchala, it's always moving. But offering your mind to the holy names, to Krishna, that is something. So it's a nice meditation. When we are chanting, we offer our mind to Krishna, meaning we are present with the holy names when we are chanting. So that is a sign of offering your mind. So Krishna says in the Gita to surrender, right? He says surrender, sarva dharman parityajya. So in this age, whom do we surrender to is the holy name, because Krishna in this age comes as the holy name. So giving your mind, that is actually surrender, process of surrender. The Sharanagati is the word, and it's a process. It's not one time, it's a process. So when you are praying and when you are trying to give your mind to Krishna, that is a process of surrender. So yeah, that ends this chapter of the transcendental qualities of Vritrasura, and in the next chapter, Vritrasura's glorious death. So I think Indra at the end now, he is able to kill Vritrasura as he desires. So I was thinking this Bhagavatam is so interesting in a sense that it is it puts devotional service as the topmost thing. One may be a demon, one may be in a demon's body, but bhakti is the topmost thing here. And even in a demon's body, the pure devotional service shines forth, So there are so many places in the Bhagavatam where Bhagavatam does this, that there are devotees like Prahlad who is instructing his father. Normally in the Vedic culture, a father is instructing a son, right? But when the bhakti is given more importance, then the quality of pure devotees like Prahlad is glorified. And then you have Kardama Muni instructing Devahuti, and then you have people who are not born in a higher caste also becoming pure devotees, So Bhagavatam is not following the so to say, the traditional Vedic thing. In a sense, it puts bhakti as the topmost thing. Whatever condition you are in, if you are able to practice bhakti yoga, that is the supreme. So that is something significant, I thought, from this chapter also, that Vritrasura, although he is in a demon's body, he is a pure devotee because, and he is glorified so much. And these prayers are so wonderful. Later on, Indra, I think he is amazed at listening to these prayers, and that's how he knows this is a pure devotee, by hearing these nice prayers. I mean, only a pure devotee can compose and recite such prayers. So Indra has this realization, oh, this person is not ordinary. So Bhakti Yoga is supreme. That is a message of Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, any comments? Any questions?
What you said, what Sri Prabhupada said, I think so he don't have to take any efforts. Only the desire to be Krishna conscious is...
No, it starts with desire.
Oh, okay.
You have to make the effort, but first we have to desire. Because effort comes after that. But when one starts to desire, then slowly that desire, Krishna helps fulfill that desire also. Because once you desire, automatically I think the effort is also all comes naturally. Yeah. I mean, there is a saying, man proposes, God disposes. Man proposes,
Yes.
God disposes. Meaning, people desire and Krishna fulfills that desire. So, of course, we need the karma. We also need to deserve before we desire. But if we desire pure devotional service, Krishna fulfills that. So, if we desire, we want to enjoy in this material world, Krishna also fulfills that. You know, he gives the body. You want to enjoy like a dog, Krishna gives the body of a dog. You want to enjoy eating too much, Krishna gives the body of an animal who enjoys eating. So Krishna fulfills desire. You want to sleep forever, Krishna gives the body of a bear. So material nature is it's under Krishna's control. So that's how they fulfill the desire. So, but if we desire for devotional service, Krishna also fulfills that. Yeah. Krishna is the giver of all, everything. He is the cause of all causes. Yes. Anything else?
Why are this, like smarta brahmanas or the caste brahmanas, why are they not convinced of bhakti?
You mean when exactly? Which time? Where? What is the context? What from where?
Usually because they would consider their knowledge of Vedic scriptures more important than like the aspect of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught the people. But why are they so attached to their knowledge? Why don't they just perform bhakti like they
Originally, according to the history, and during the start of the Kali Yuga, the Brahmana caste started degrading because they started putting more importance to birth. If you are Brahmana by birth, then you are a Brahmana. But Krishna says it's not like that. Krishna says, Chaturvarna maya shrishtam guna karma vibhagasa. So these are differentiated by qualities and not by birth. So normally the smarta brahmanas, they give more importance to birth because in a sense they are keeping the power within their family, you know. So that is a degradation of the Brahmana culture. It started when Parikshit Maharaj was cursed actually. Prabhupada says in the purport that when this Brahmana Shringi, he cursed Parikshit Maharaj thinking that he is a son of Brahmana and he has the power, and he cursed Parikshit Maharaj. That's when Prabhupada says the degradation started, because thinking you are a son of Brahmana, you have a qualification of a Brahmana, but without qualities, that's the main. So basically, I think the caste Brahmanas, historically in India, they are not supporting this, especially the fact that even people not born in a Vedic culture, not born in the Brahmana family, can worship Krishna. So they don't want to accept this because there is some sort of power, you know, that they are giving up. So that's one reason. The power lies in the family. So, but that's not what the Shastra says. The Shastra says you are born in a Brahmana family, you are born in a Sudra family. If you have the qualities, then you can become a Vaishnava. So it depends on the qualities and not on the birth. That is something Prabhupada's Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he really tried very hard to establish this principle of that anyone can become a pure devotee. Does not matter what family, what caste, what culture. If they have the quality, if they are in the process, they can become pure devotees. Yeah, it's a historical thing at least in India, that the caste brahmanas, they have a lot of power. And they don't want to give the power so easily.
So it basically makes them Mayavadis, right? If they neglect what, like Prabhupada said, and they neglect what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu introduced. So they are basically Mayavadis, or practically, right?
Yeah, I mean Mayavadis is a group of people who say that the Lord's form is illusion, and caste brahmanas are a little, I mean, group of people who say that you can be only a Brahmana or Vaishnava if you are born in the family of a Brahmana. So these two have different philosophical understanding, I mean different view, but some Mayavadis are caste brahmanas, some, they are mixed. They can be Smarta Brahmana and a Mayavadi also.
Yeah, but does Krishna appreciate their service? Or how does he appreciate their service? If they exclude like all the, for example, all the Western devotees, I mean, they're practically offending them.
Yeah, that's an offense actually. That you don't consider someone a pure devotee, you don't actually give them. So that's an offense. So Krishna deals accordingly. I don't know how exactly, but someone who is a pure devotee, whatever the caste they are in, whatever the culture they are in, if they just see, it is said, if you see a pure devotee by externals, if you see a Saligram Shila as a stone, and if you see Charanamrit as ordinary water, then you have it's described some kind of punishment. I mean, it's just to say that it's an offense to judge a person by externals, especially, I mean, a pure devotee, to see the body and think, oh, this person cannot be a pure devotee. That's an offense. Yeah. Okay. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.